If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Spectacular. You know, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. has made it clear that Crawford will crush Floyd Mayweather in a potential bout. He believes Terence, but Crawford has everything it takes to dismantle Floyd Mayweather. In Roy's eyes, Crawford's sharp instincts, power, and ability to adapt inside the ring would force Floyd out of his comfort zone. He thinks Floyd's perfect record was built on avoiding fights with guys who could truly test him. And Crawford, according to Roy, is exactly that test.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning towards him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I'm leaning. I am leaning towards Crawford, kind of I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo's hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Crawford has skills most fighters only dream of. First, he praises Crawford's ring IQ, the ability to read opponents, adapt mid-fight, set traps, and change strategy on the fly. Second, he highlights his stance versatility to switch hitting, fighting well, both orthodox and southpaw to confuse and exploit openings. Third is punch setup and timing, knowing when to throw what, using feints, jabs, body head variation for maximum effect. Third is punch sets,
his ability to move laterally, footwork, angles, creating space, avoiding damage while staying in position to counter. Fifth, his power with precision, not just raw knockout force, but accurate, smart power that hits when it counts.
Avoiding damage.
Gotta rank him probably your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. It's just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in the weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost to nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost to nobody. I'm telling you, better than Bud.
Jones sees Crawford at the peak of his abilities. Undefeated, seasoned, versatile, and still hungry. A rare combo. Jones points out that Crawford has proven he can adapt, carry power, fight at different weights, and move smartly both inside and outside the ring. At 167, 5 pounds, Crawford has the blend of speed, strength, experience, and ring IQ that gives him every weapon he needs to dominate. If this is his time, Crawford could rewrite the record books.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier, and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there and take that blueprint and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I know from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot there, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. He's going out and
know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it. And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Critics argue that a fight of this nature might undermine Crawford's legacy. They believe that instead of building on his historic victories, such as dismantling Errol's fence and outclassing Canelo, he would be chasing financial rewards rather than competitive glory. This perception stems from the fact that Mayweather's recent career has centered on high-paying exhibition fights rather than meaningful legacy bouts. Analysts point out that Crawford has worked too hard to risk being seen as someone prioritizing money over history, but critics point out the timing of some of those victories. For example, Canelo was only 22 and still early in his development when he fought Mayweather, and Pacquiao revealed he sustained a right shoulder injury several weeks before facing Mayweather in 2015, which hampered his performance. Additionally, Mayweather's reluctance to grant rematches, especially with Pacquiao, left many fans feeling there were unresolved what-ifs. By contrast, Terence Crawford has often defeated opponents widely regarded to be at or near their peak when he faced them, enhancing the perception that his achievements are against high-quality in-form rivals.
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say the accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. Probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 15, 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud in my opinion.
Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. share a complicated relationship built on mutual respect, but clouded by rivalry. Both men admire each other's skills, yet their competitive egos often clash. Roy has often claimed he was a more naturally gifted fighter, dominating multiple weight classes in his prime, while Floyd emphasizes his undefeated record and business savvy as proof of being the best. Tension escalated when Roy dismissed Floyd's TB, the best ever label, suggesting it disrespected past legends. Floyd, in turn, criticized Roy's late career losses as tarnishing his legacy. Their rivalry is less about fighting each other and more about clashing egos and competing claims to boxing immortality.
What's happening, fight fans around the world? I know how y'all are. I know y'all enjoy this thing of boxing. I know we play games and people have their issues and people have opinions. It's cool too. I got opinions. I'm allowed to say my opinion or speak my opinion. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked. Because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always better than you. Wide open, ready to go. It's called.
Jones argues that Floyd's best status is valid only in terms of money-making, not necessarily as the greatest fighter across all styles. Roy says he's not trying to be disrespectful, but when he makes statements, he stands by them wholeheartedly.
Is there something that you want to elaborate on, or is there something that maybe you don't like about Floyd?
one thing I don't like is that you don't respect elders. You talk about Muhammad Ali got beat by an 8-0 fighter. The 8-0 fighter was an Olympian who was a monster. Who, if you had a monster like that in your weight class, you wouldn't fight him at that time. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect him. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're gonna have some respect. Because if you wanna get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
But I didn't hear you say anything disrespectful about Floyd.
I never do. I'm not the disrespectful
right.
type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You stand on it.
I stand on it. You understand me? I'm not, like I said, I don't think LeBron is not a great player. I'm not one of the greatest players of all time. But if you ask me, in your opinion, my opinion, which I'm entitled to, you think LeBron and Mike. I'm gonna say Mike because I saw what Mike went through to get where he got. So I got my own reason why I'm gonna probably like Mike. I'm not saying just you're trash. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a great player.
Right.
I'm not saying you're not one of the top 5. Because you could be that. You feel me? And in most people's opinion, you probably are. Some people's opinion, you probably top 1. That's not, I can't say, oh, I'm right and everybody's wrong. No, that's just my opinion. Right. I'm entitled to my opinion. But I will fight about my opinion. So if you got a problem with my opinion, whoever, call my house. It ain't changed.
Jones sees Crawford at the peak of his abilities, undefeated, seasoned, versatile, and still hungry. A rare combo. Jones points out that Crawford has proven he can adapt, carry power, fight at different weights, and move smartly both inside and outside the ring. At 167, 5 pounds, Crawford has the blend of speed, strength, experience, and ring IQ that gives him every weapon he needs to dominate. If this is his time, Crawford could rewrite the record books.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No.
Not even top 10?
Maybe top 10 in my book. Yeah. Not top 5. Maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight. Don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand. I know you're a Floyd fan. But here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he's going to prison when he gets through. Then to take it even further. Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto is not an all-time great in the boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great. All right, so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't?
So my point is I'm not going to say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not going to say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was ever. He didn't fight the champ. He didn't go looking for a champ.
Jones also warned Mayweather that stepping into the UFC octagon or any MMA setting wouldn't be a fair fight. While he respects Mayweather's boxing accomplishments, Jones pointed out that MMA is a completely different arena. Kicks, knees, takedowns, and submissions, all things Floyd has no live experience dealing with. Jones said, Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150 pounds. I'm like 220 pounds. I've hurt Mayweather, making it clear that size, skill set, and rule differences would lead to dangerous territory for the boxing legend. Other veteran boxers have also shown their support for Terence Crawford in this potential megabout.
MMA fighters trying out boxing. I think it's a lot safer for an MMA fighter to try out boxing. If you get a boxer inside the octagon, then there's so many elements that they aren't familiar with. The head kicking, and the body kicking, and the choking, and the arm bending, and the ankle twisting, and all that. It's a lot, and it'd be really dangerous for Floyd to join an MMA match. So I would strongly suggest he reconsider.
Would you want to fight him?
Floyd Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150. I'm like 220. I'll hurt Floyd Mayweather.
Jim Lampley recently drew a major comparison. saying Terence Crawford reminds him of Sugar Ray Robinson, one of boxing's all-time greats. Lampley praised Crawford's uncanny ability to balance, maintain position, and unleash counter-punches with serious power traits few fighters have shown as consistently since Robinson.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
David Benavidez believes that Crawford belongs on boxing's Mount Rushmore. Now that he has secured undisputed status in 3 divisions, he points to Crawford's unbeaten record, his ability to perform at high levels across different weight classes, and his victory over Canelo as a proof of greatness. In David's eyes, those achievements move Crawford out of debates and into legend territory among the all-time greats.
So I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but as take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terence Crawford.
Shane Sugar Mosley has made a strong case that Crawford edges out Mayweather as the more complete boxer nowadays. He argues that Crawford's physical tools, greater size, reach, and toughness offer advantages in a potential matchup. Mosley also praises Crawford's ability to fight effectively from both stances, his adaptability, and his willingness to mix power with finesse. While Mayweather's defensive brilliance and ring IQ remain elite, Mosley believes Crawford's aggression, punch variety, and weight class versatility give him the upper hand in a showdown.
You fought both Canelo and Mayweather. You fought them both. Who did you think was better, Canelo or Mayweather? I know that's Canelo was saying it was Crawford better than Mayweather.
I was very impressed with Canelo at 21, but Mayweather was still technically more sound. I think Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, it's, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Virgil acknowledges Crawford as one of the greatest in boxing. He believes few, if any, fighters at that weight can beat Crawford except perhaps himself. Ortiz admires Crawford's blend of skills, intelligent ring craft, sharp punching, and physicality that holds up even when moving up in weight. While he respects the challenge Crawford presents, Ortiz also seems confident, positioning himself as a legitimate threat. Since defeating Canelo to become the undisputed super middleweight champ, Terence "Bud" Crawford is seen by many as the most dangerous opponent in boxing. Fighters often avoid taking on opponents who threaten their legacy or risk tough losses. Crawford has called out names like Boots Ennis and accused Canelo of dodging David Benbitz and Gerald Charlo. His promoter and others say negotiations fall through because potential opponents fear the defeat or the style mismatch.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.